driving at equality, driving the purpose of lifting the lagging areas and lifting people who have been left out of the mainstream. And in that perspective, it is truly unique. We also talk about the Sustainable Development Goals, and this is a practical illustration of how a country's policy commitment actually hits the ground running with the practical implementation of what that means. Pakistan is known, unfortunately known, for the wrong reasons, and we want to change that perception. We want to bring to bear the resilience of our people, the giving and the unique giving nature of our people, the spirit of camaraderie, which I genuinely believe is truly unique in the world. And that aspect of Pakistan must come forward. We must project that to the rest of the world, because that has been a neglected aspect. Because this is such a wide-ranging program, not just the Ministry of Poverty Alleviation, which was created for the purpose of coordinating this program, but 28 other federal ministries have equal responsibility for executing this program. And one of my cabinet colleagues, senior cabinet colleagues, Minister Shafqat Mahmood, is here today and will tell you more about that. As you know, Pakistan has really made a very unprecedented move and has signaled something very unique in the present budget. Because at a time of austerity, at a time where everybody is cutting down their budgets, at a time when no ministry is asking for additional resources, at a time when even the armed forces of Pakistan have voluntarily cut back their budget to express their solidarity for the reform that is underway, the budget for social protection has been doubled. And that places a huge responsibility on us to execute that program and to utilize that budget with the highest integrity possible, with the highest measure of cost effectiveness and transparency. In terms of how the program is configured, it has 4 pillars. The first pillar is centered on social welfare. We are basically aiming for a one-window social welfare operation, because Pakistan has many windows of social welfare. In the province of Punjab alone, there are 139 social welfare programs, fragmented, duplicative social welfare programs, grown over a period of 60 years. In the province of KP, there may be more than 100, and the federal government has triple-digit social welfare programs. These are fragmented envelopes with a lot of overlap, with a lot of duplication, with no cost optimization. And one of the core objectives of this program is to run a single window social protection operation, which is very transparent, which provides the donor, which may be any government, or maybe any civil society entity, or maybe a corporate sector, absolute transparency of where those monies are targeted with granularity. That is the first objective. Of course, we have the BISP as an entity which gives resources to the poorest. We have the Pakistan Poverty Alleviation Fund. We have Baitul Mal. All these 3 programs run duplicative initiatives. They have separate management information systems, separate reporting lines. Collectively, they have more than 600 offices in every tehsil, and the work is very, very fragmented. So one of the core objectives is to escalate the coverage, to increase the number from the current 6 million to, inshallah, we'll be releasing the official figures shortly. We will be doubling the number of people who will be covered under social protection, but we will run a single unified program. Then, of course, there are a number of different special purpose vehicles that we will run in social protection. 3 weeks ago, on behalf of the government of Pakistan, I announced the disability policy, which we will be requesting the President of Pakistan to personally lead. That disability policy is multifaceted, ranging from universal access to assistive devices to ensuring job quotas, to a number of different dimensions. This is truly a unique disability policy as a special purpose vehicle of the social protection umbrella. In terms of another special purpose vehicle, we are also revitalizing a dormant organization called the Trust for Voluntary Organization, and opening up a special window for the most marginalized, which are usually left out of the cracks. So the transgenders, the people in bonded labor, people with women in bondage, those who have undergone violence, street children. So we hope to open that special purpose vehicle for these very marginalized groups. And then, of course, there is a very fast-track process ongoing to bring the civil society into the loop of social welfare formally. So that is one aspect of reform that is undergoing in the poverty ecosystem. There is another parallel reform undergoing in the social security ecosystem, where there is also equal fragmentation. So we have the Worker Welfare Fund, we have the Employees Old, the EOBI Benefit Institute. Unfortunately, these organizations are examples of massive rent seeking, the worst kinds of corruption in the past. We are doing a massive cleanup job, trying to integrate them into one window and link it with the poverty ecosystem. So that is one aspect of what is undergoing on a fast-track basis. The second pillar of the SARS program aims at investing in human capital. As you all may know, in today's day and age, we are all aware that the real wealth of a country is its human capital. 60% of the wealth of a nation can be attributed by its human capital. And in fact, by 2025, the borrowing costs of countries will be linked to the human capital rankings. And countries like ours, if we do not get our indicators better in time, would have to pay a much higher interest rate on the loans that we get if our human capital rankings are low. So there is an accelerated effort to bring greater transparency to reform the government of institutions at a provincial level particularly that have to deliver on this objective. And then the third pillar of SARS relates to job creation, because we know that Pakistan is undergoing a difficult time. We will inshallah come out of this difficult time very soon, but until such a time that the economy goes full throttle on an accelerated trajectory, we have to push the few levers in relation to jobs where quick wins are possible, and the government of Pakistan has identified these three areas, which is skills training, the IT sector, and overseas Pakistanis, where with coordinated policy interventions, more jobs can be created. So that is the third pillar. And then the fourth pillar of SARS relates to a very interesting stream which is aimed at addressing state capture. And we've officially pegged that into the official document, because over our six-decade history, the resources of the country have been in the hands of a few powerful elite. And there is a very concerted effort in terms of public policy to bring in a number of different policy initiatives that will be more redistributive in nature, which will take the grip of the elite away from the resources and ensure that they are better distributed. So these are the four pillars of SARS on which work is progressing at a very accelerated pace. The policy intent document of SARS is currently in the public domain. We are working to formalize the strategy on a fast-track basis so that the entire theory of change that is envisaged under SARS is soon in the public domain, and I will be requesting the Director General of this institute to give us convening space to hold some of the consultations around that. We will, of course, there is a parallel effort to make sure that we have very explicit targets. So what is the social protection target that we are aiming at, and how do the different contributions of the government, of the civil society contribute to achieving that target, is something that we are working on aggressively. At this point in time, we are because this is about bringing in a transformative change. The institutional arrangements to bring that transformative change assume huge importance, which is what we're trying to crystallize at this particular time, which is why I was personally very excited to come here to see how we could forge a partnership which will allow us to exploit synergy. The whole purpose of SARS is not only to cater for those who are disadvantaged, but also to make sure that the government systems are used effectively and in a cost-effective way. And in that, to achieve that objective, I certainly will be reaching out a hand of partnership to you to seek what you can offer to us. So with these few strands of information about SARS, I want to thank you once again for having us here, for giving visibility to this very important policy agenda which the Prime Minister is personally driving. I want to thank Mr. President for gracing the occasion and for signaling his intent to shepherd this. And I want to thank you for convening us in the library, which reminds us that once upon a time, people of my generation at least used to come to places like this. Our children, of course, have forgotten what this looks like. So perhaps in terms of being a museum also, this venue is very important. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
इस्लामाबाद में मुनक्किदा गुर्बत के खात्मे के हवाले से एक रोज़ा सेमिनार से वज़ीर-ए-आज़म की मुआविन खुसूसी डॉक्टर सानिया निश्तर खिताब कर रही थीं। उन्होंने खिताब में कहा कि एहसास प्रोग्राम एक जामे प्रोग्राम है। इस प्रोग्राम में 28 वजारतें हिस्सा ले रही हैं। एक ऐसे मौके पर जब किसी वजारत ने माली हालात की वजह से बजट में इजाफे का मुतालबा नहीं किया, एहसास प्रोग्राम के लिए रकम मुख्तस करने से हमारी जिम्मेदारी में मज़ीद इजाफा हो जाता है। नाज़रीन, इस वक्त सदर ममलिकत डॉक्टर आरिफ अलवी इसी तकरीब से खिताब कर रहे हैं। आइए आपको लिए चलते हैं।
Mahmood, Special Assistant to the Prime Minister for Social Protection, Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Sania Nishtar, and whenever I read her CV, I'm more and more impressed by her work in